know that scene from Spider-Man Homecoming when Tony is like, if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it. Which is kind of facts, because these days I've been trying to do more with less because I don't want to rely on anything. Big ego, I know. You know how most cars these days have a backup camera? So whenever I'm watching my friend parallel park, like secretly in my head, I'm like, yeah, I'm a better driver than you because I don't need any of that fancy technology. Or maybe I'm just coping because my car doesn't have a backup camera. Another thing is allergy medicine. I'm the kind of person who is severely allergic to even a single molecule of pollen. I need to do a whole ritual of taking pills and nasal spray just to breathe normally. But these past few months, I've been trying to limit my intake because I don't want to rely on this medication to survive. I try not to use navigation apps anymore because I know how easy it is to rely on it. I know a guy who has memorized every single nook and cranny on A-Side Bind, but can't even tell you where the nearest 7-Eleven is. But that's the thing though, because that same person who needs ways to survive can also lock in and study for 5 hours straight. Whereas for me, like, sure I can get back home without maps, but I can only study for like 10 minutes. Then I need to take a 3-hour scrolling break. So where do you draw the line? Because everyone relies on something or someone. We depend on food and water to survive, and I desperately need glasses to see. So what counts as an unhealthy dependency? Bars.
Yo, so my skateboard went from here, and I tripped and I fell into here. You see it?
Personally, I would only count it as unhealthy if it's super financially draining. You know those stoners who are like, yeah bro, it's not addictive, you can't overdose, weed is perfect. But then they drop $500 at the dispensary every single month, and then when they turn 20, they're like, yeah, I'm trying to go back. I just need to take a tea break, bro. I would consider that an unhealthy reliance because that's a lot of money to be spending on the gas. I would say the only things I'm really addicted to are Instagram and sugar. There is just something so heavenly about a Dr. Pepper. See, but I don't even see it as an addiction. It's just every once in a while I get this craving where I'm like, I just need a soda, man. But I can handle my addiction though. I wear a patch. But even then, I wouldn't consider it financially draining because a large soda is like $5 at most. This, I got this at 7-Eleven. It was $1. It was $1! You can even get addicted to people. You know those dudes in their first relationship who are like, I need her. She just gets me, man. But then when they break up 2 weeks later, he literally cannot function without her and is in the worst state of his life. People say money doesn't matter or doesn't give you happiness until you gotta start paying for your car insurance. More money allows you to experience more of the world. So if you're blowing the majority of your funds on geek bars, then you're being held down by your dependency. But the thing is, if you're able to leverage your dependencies into something productive, then maybe it's not so bad. If you're at the gas station every single week picking up a new case of Zins, but you're also running like a really profitable business or you're an airline pilot or something, then I say that's fine because the cost of your nicotine addiction is just a drop in the bucket compared to the money you're earning. Because really there's only so much you can do as an individual until you need assistance from other things or other people to strive even farther. Sure, you alone can train really hard in the gym to build muscle, but taking pre-workout and creatine just makes it so much easier. And having the individual discipline to even go to the gym is a good trait to have, but it's also just so much easier to show up when you get that text from bro saying, back and by? You know when our math teachers were like, you gotta learn the math because you won't always have a calculator on you. Well, guess what, teach? I do always have a calculator on me. It's called my phone. So in the real world, if I need to be reliant on Mathway or Photomath to help me solve real world problems, is that really so bad? Because I'll tell you this, I am not busting out the graph paper to solve how much I need to tip the Chili's waitress when I'm going out with the boys. Taking medicine doesn't make you weak. You're not more of a big, strong, burly man for not taking painkillers after an open heart surgery. You're just making life harder on yourself for no reason other than your ego.
If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it, okay?
Tony's right that if you're nothing without it, then you shouldn't have it. You should still be able to get home without looking up the directions, and I can probably guess how many fingers you're holding up if I took off my glasses. Substances and people who share a common goal should be tools to make things easier for you. They shouldn't be a crutch or the foundation of your motivation. Bars again. Because you'll eventually build a tolerance to whatever you're taking, or maybe you'll have a falling out with the people you work together with. Or maybe your phone battery dies and you don't know how to get home. I was staring at this box, just kinda zoning out, while this girl from my middle school called Abigail started talking to me. Her skin was dark gray, pale, and covered in black markings. She has long, unkempt black hair, but on her face, it seemed as if someone took a pencil and zigzagged it across her face up and down. I asked Abigail her name because I know she doesn't follow me back on Instagram, but she introduced herself as Margaret, even though I'm pretty sure her name is Abigail. I asked why she's emo respectfully and curiously. I just like learning about new topics and areas like that. But Margaret said it's kind of hard to explain, and she'd rather just show me. So I was like, okay. And she reached her hand toward my forehead. She pressed her thumb in the area just above the gap between my eyebrows, and I think she opened my third eye. My eyes closed, and this flash appeared when I opened my third eye. It was open for a fraction of a second, and then it closed. I was taken aback, and I was so amazed. Then I woke up.